Hey there, Dan Martell, serial entrepreneur, investor, and creator of SaaS Academy. In this episode, I'm going to teach you the 5 beliefs that I use to get through tough times. When you hit a wall, how do you get through that? Stay motivated, stay positive, and be sure to stay to the end. We're going to tell you how to get access to my free training called Future Living. It's something I recently taught at an event that's going to tell you or teach you how to stay motivated and positive as you move forward in your life. So let's get started. Boom. So here's the reality. I have definitely dealt with some incredibly tough moments in my life. If you don't know my story, I'll link it up below. But at 17, I ended up in rehab and had to go through a whole transformation, rebuild my value system, deal with some anger issues, rebuild a relationship with my family. But out of that, I started my first company. Then that company failed. At 19, I did another company called NB Host, and that one, I put a lot of money in and that failed. And I just kept going, okay? And trying to stay motivated. At 24, I finally figured it out. I finally got a business coach and I finally started reading business books, right? To try to give me some success principles to model. And even though that company got acquired 4 years later, halfway through it, we hit a wall and almost went bankrupt. And it was mentors that helped pull me through that moment to really build the business to the point where it was valuable to somebody else. And I just kept doing it. And it's like, it happened again at 28 when I started Flowtown. And a year in, we got the whole product shut down. There's all these crazy stories that I don't have time to get into. But even more recently at 35, deciding that I wanted to coach when I'm an investor, when I'm a business builder, when I'm an operator, and I just felt, called and compelled to coach. There's all these, negative beliefs around it, like a lot of industries, and I just had to overcome these tough challenges. So what I want to teach you today, and I've got a whole video on my YouTube channel that I'm going to link up below around belief collecting. But what I want to share today are how to overcome those tough times, those roadblocks when you hit a wall in your business. I mean, recently in one of my coaching groups, I had one of my clients, Mike, lose his mother, and he posted that story in the group, and it was really heartfelt. And I had to share some of these specific beliefs with him to kind of help him reset the lens that he was looking through that moment of his life through, so that he didn't feel debilitated and lose all the progress and momentum he's been building in his business. Because I think that's what happened. So I want to go through 5 of the top beliefs that are going to help you stay motivated. Number 1, worse is best. Here's what I believe is, for many of us, pretty much anybody watching this video, that your worst day, and look, I know you probably have gone through some really horrible things, okay? But here's what I believe in my soul. I know it to be true, even for myself, because I've been around people, is my worst day is somebody else's dream day, would be their best day, right? Because we forget how fortunate and lucky we are that we live, typically, maybe it's different for you, but you live in a country where you can own land, where you can get educated, where you can learn businesses, where we have access to the internet, where we have access to water and food, okay? And if that's you, I want you to rewire, no matter what's going on, how bad my day gets. No matter how bad it gets, I just have to remind myself that my worst day, and it's probably not today, because I've gone through a whole lot of tough challenges, is somebody else's dream day. And I remember seeing it's so crazy how the other day I saw one of my friends post a photo of, post a photo of him shirtless. And I was like, man, he's looking good. And his caption was, "This is my accountability photo because I feel like I've let myself go." And I'm looking at this photo going, he actually looks really good for a 45-year-old dude. But in his mind, he's like, and I think this all the time, is that no matter how you feel about yourself, your looks, your business, etc., if you're in business, trust me, there's thousands, millions of people that would love to even start a business that haven't been able to pull the trigger. So I just really think it's a good reframe to say, hey, no matter what happens in this moment, there's somebody else that would love to be in my position, and I have to appreciate that that's the challenges that I get to deal with. Number 2, seed of opportunity. One of the first books, and the book that I probably recommend the most, is Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, right? It's just such a foundational book. It's held the test of time. It's been around for, I believe, since the 30s. And it is just an incredible tomb of amazing takeaways. And one of them is, in every adversity, there is a seed of opportunity. Now, I'm compressing the specific quote, but that's the concept. And the way I think about it is a lot of people are like, man, when I tell stories of where I had setbacks or challenges or, major losses, and they're like, wow, how did that feel? And I go, well, I didn't fail. I didn't lose. I got an opportunity to learn. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, that's great for you to say. It's like, you don't fail, you just learn. It's the truth. In every setback, if you're moving forward on your path and your journey and you're grateful for where you're at, you need to realize that, the things that I went through as a teenager that allowed me to push forward are the reason why I'm who I am today. It's why I'm so driven. It's why I'm so passionate about learning. It's why I'm so motivated to give back and support other people. It's because of the things I went through. So in that adversity, there was a seed of opportunity that was planted. And what I believe is that it's our job to figure out what that is and pour water on that seed so that it can turn into an opportunity that's way bigger than the adversity that we went through. Number 3, no pressure, no diamonds. This one I'm giving 100 credit. I don't even know where it comes from. 100% credit to my buddy Jason Gaynard, the founder of Mastermind Talks, MMT. Jason's been using this as kind of like a motto of his life. And I use it with my kids. I use it with my friends. I have people that are like, hey man, I just had a client, fire us, or I've had a key team member quit, or, my sales guy just, left, or whatever it is. And I'm just like, hey man, no pressure, no diamonds. If you want diamonds, you want to create success, you want to have a life that other people could only dream about, trust me when I tell you this, that you will have friction, you will have pushback. The world does not want to change. And in that pressure and noise from the rest of the world, when you're driving to change things, driving to grow, it's in that pressure that we create the diamond. And I just love that. He actually had a t-shirt once that said no pressure, no diamonds, that he gave out to all the attendees, because that's just like, that's the quickest one. That one gets me right off the bat. If I'm dealing with something challenging, I just think about that. No pressure, no diamonds. This is just part of it. If I want the diamond, if I want the outcome, I want the success, then I have to deal with the pressure. Number 4, do what others won't. Okay. So the other day I was running with one of my good friends, Martell, and he goes, Dan, my brother was recently asking me why you continue to build businesses and push so hard and shoot videos and all this stuff, because he knows that I don't have to. I'm just incredibly privileged and lucky that I've done extremely well in my life. And I could do a ton of other things. I could do nothing, or I could have gone full into investing and not do any YouTube. Like, I didn't have to do this stuff. I was really compelled and drawn to it. And the way I think about it is, I do things on a daily basis that I know other people won't. Not because I have to, but because my belief of, I do things that other people won't so I can live a life that other people can't, or other people would only dream of, okay? Why do I wake up at 5 a.m. every friggin' day, even on weekends? I don't have to. I literally don't have any reason. There's nobody waiting for me. I don't have an office. I don't have to go meet with anybody. I don't have meetings till 1:30 in the afternoon every day. My mornings, I could literally lay in bed, go in the hot tub, do nothing, but I don't. Why? Because I'll know. And every time I do something that I know is hard, okay? Because one of our mottos, my family, I have the Martell way, okay? My 2 boys, Max and Noah, we talk about this all the time. What does it mean to be a Martell? And one of them is we do hard things. And to me, that's what that principle means. Why do we do hard things? Because we do things that others won't, so we can live a life that others will never experience, because we're willing to do that. So the reason I wake up at 5 a.m., the reason why I continue to morning rituals, push myself, ask myself, where's the edges of my comfort zone, and how do I run towards them? How do I do better from last week than I am today on all aspects of my life, my relationships, health, wealth, friendships, hobbies, etc. The reason why is because I have aspirations to live a certain quality of life, optionality, be able to do things that, the truth is I want to do what I want to do with who I want to do it, when I want to do it. And that is a reward that is not a guarantee. And the reason I get to do that is because I'm willing to do today what others won't, so I can live that life. And it's just such a great way to think about it and ask yourself, when I wake up at 5:30 in the morning, or 5 in the morning to go running at 5:30 in the morning on a Sunday morning. Many times I'm running with my group of friends and I'm just reminding them, hey, I just want you to know that we are part of the 0.01% of the population in this city right now that's out running in the dark with headlamps because everybody else would rather be in bed in a warm bed. And I totally get it. But I want you to remind yourself that you're driven, that you're doing things that others won't, so that you won't be surprised when the success shows up. Number 5, call it a challenge. Okay, recently I was reading a book written by Rich Roll. I forget what it's called, honestly, because I read on my Kindle, so I never get to see the cover very often. But he wrote a great book about literally a coming of age where he was an overweight lawyer, decided to get into triathlons and, ran a bunch of Ironmans. And it's an incredible story. But what I love the most out of the whole book, and this is usually how books work, is there was one passage where he was training with his training partner, who I believe only has one arm. So he was training, doing Ironmans with a guy that's swimming 4 miles with one arm, okay? So way harder for this individual. And they decided to do like all the islands in Hawaii every day back to back and do an Ironman on each one. I think it was 4 or 5 that they went after. And while they were doing it, Rich got negative and in his head, and he's like, man, this is hard. And his training partner said to him, it's why they call it a challenge. And for me, that resonated in my soul. It's like, when I'm running and I feel like out of breath or this is hard, or, this summer I had the privilege of running 3 sprint marathons back to back pretty much every weekend. 30 days prior, I never swam, okay? I swam like a rock. I could swim enough like doggy paddle, but I never went any distance. And anytime it got tough, I just kept reminding myself, that's why they call it a challenge. That's why they call it a challenge. It's not running 5K. It's not running a half marathon or doing a 100-kilometer bike ride. It's a challenge. And what are challenges meant for? To shape us, to overcome, right? And I just think it's so often to like reframe everything and say, that's why they call it a challenge. Like, it's supposed to be hard. Like, think about that. It's supposed to be hard. It's not supposed to be easy. And when we recognize that, I think it reframes it so that we want to overcome it and acknowledge, that, hey, yeah, for sure, it's supposed to be hard. Don't be surprised. That's why they call it a challenge. So I want to thank Rich for that little nugget, but those are the beliefs and many others. Again, I'm going to link the video below where you can listen to my belief collector video on how I collect beliefs, but I just want to share those with you. So quick recap, the 5 beliefs that will keep you motivated when you hit some tough times. Number 1, your worst day is somebody else's best day. Number 2, seeds of opportunity in every adversity. 3, no pressure, no diamonds. 4, do what others won't so you can live a life that others can't. And number 5, that's why they call it a challenge. Call it a challenge. It's supposed to be hard. So as I mentioned at the beginning of this episode, I want to share with you an exclusive training called Future Living. I shot it recently at an event, and it is my approach, because people always like, how do you always stay energetic and optimistic and focused on the future? This is the training. So click the link below to watch this video. It's free. And I go over the process and the principles of living into the future, not trying to live in a world that doesn't exist, but use that future pacing, use that vision of your life and bring that back into how you act today to motivate you and focus on the bigger picture. So click the link below to get access to Future Living. If you like this episode, be sure to subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell, ding, make that thing go off. We publish every week. And as per usual, I want to challenge you to live a bigger life and a bigger business, and I'll see you next Monday. Hey there, Dan Martell here, serial entrepreneur, investor, and